Bryan Hayes joins me now. And Hayes, it is hard to believe these last 24 hours, given the way this 1-2 punch of Tucker to the Dodgers and Bichette to the Mets just played out. How should Jays fans be feeling right now?
I think this one hurts. Yeah, I think it's a pretty crushing 24 hours if you're a Blue Jay fan. Because as you'll recall, Sarah, there were times earlier in the offseason, Blue Jay fans were having fantasies of both of these guys signing with the Blue Jays, right? Bring in Tucker, keep Bo Bichette. I don't think that was ever a reality, and now we know it's not a reality. And I think with Tucker, what stings is where he signed. That's what stings. And I understand that the Dodgers, everyone in baseball is facing the wrath of the LA Dodgers. It's particularly cruel the way it's going for the Blue Jays. They're bullying the Blue Jays, right? The last 24 months, Jays thought they might get Ohtani. He goes to the Dodgers. They thought maybe Roki Sasaki would come to Toronto. He goes to the Dodgers. They thought they had won the World Series until the Dodgers decided to sweep in and take that. And now Kyle Tucker's another scenario where he picks LA. So it stings. I think Tucker was always more of a fantasy because he wasn't a part of the Blue Jays throughout his career. With Bichette, it's a deeper cut because, he's homegrown, drafted, developed. It's been him and Vladdy for the better part of a decade. It's been their show. So it really, really stings. And it's another example of how even if you do heavy lifting early in the offseason, which the Blue Jays have done, they've spent a lot of money. They signed Dylan Cease. They brought in Cody Ponce, right? They brought in multiple pieces that have made them a quality team. It would have been an A-plus offseason if they signed one of these guys, Tucker or Bichette. Now that they're both gone, Bregman's obviously not available anymore. It's a B to a B-plus offseason. Still a good one, but because they did all the heavy lifting early in the offseason, this one really, really stings and how quickly it hit. It was a 1-2 shot, Tucker to the Dodgers, Bichette to the Mets, and now Blue Jay fans are sitting here saying, what are they going to do the rest of the offseason?
Yeah, Blue Jays fans' head spinning after this 24 hours. Well, let's talk about what Bichette's legacy will be as a Blue Jay. Will he be remembered as the homegrown kid who almost won a World Series with Vladdy? Or do you think Jays fans will feel betrayed because he left Toronto in his prime?
I think more of the former than the latter, right? I think because of the season that was had, and the way Bo Bichette played a role in it, right? He was so good, he was so clutch throughout the season. But then he got injured in September, and he didn't play in the DS or the CS, and the Blue Jays still had immense success, right? They had great success without him, and other guys stepped up that might make you feel okay if you're a Blue Jay fan. So I think that softens the blow. If he went to the Red Sox or the Yankees, it would be much more vitriol. He didn't do that. He went to New York, but he left the league. He went to the National League, and he took the money. I think Blue Jay fans sit here and say, all right, if he signed for $30 million a year, why didn't the Jays make sure they kept him? He's getting $42 million a year. That is a steep price. And I do think you have to consider, and I think Blue Jay fans are considering this, how hard were the Jays really pushing for him? How much did they really want to keep Bo Bichette? Because it is a two-way street. It's not only on the player, it's on the team. But I think the fact that Vladdy's here and he's here for the long term, the fact that a lot of guys showed up large last year, like Addison Barger, like Ernie Clement, and others, and the fact that they have spent money, supplemented the starting rotation, the bullpen, and they're still a really good team, it's going to soften the blow here. But like any exit, it's going to be determined ultimately by how it plays out the rest of the way. If the bats are not strong enough this year, Blue Jay fans are going to be bitter. If Bo Bichette goes down to New York and is a hero and plays great for the Mets, that's going to sting. So it's yet to be determined, but I would say it's closer to thanks for all the years, thanks for the great run, we're going to be okay without you. I think that's how the majority of Blue Jay fans are going to feel about this.
Yeah, and as you said, really only time will tell how it all plays out. As for Bo Bichette's last at-bat as a Blue Jay, it was a single in the bottom of the ninth inning of Game 7 of the World Series before he was lifted for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who came on as a pinch runner.